You know, the Romans did warn us about this. You see, the thing is, sometimes I think the strangest thing about modern life is that we were promised all this technology would make life easier, that it would make everything more efficient and more abundant, and that we would basically be free. And yet most people I speak to are more anxious than ever. We were told this internet thing would connect us, and yet we've never felt so disconnected, have we? I think, if I remember back when we were in primary school, we used to look at pictures of the green planet Earth spinning on a video screen, and we were told that coal power stations were evil and that green energy would make electricity cheap and free, and the sun was our friend, and that technology would basically be the panacea of all the world's problems. And maybe it still will be one day, I don't know. But I live here in the north of Scotland, and you can't see it now, but the hills are covered in windmills and turbines, and electricity has never been more expensive. And then AI arrived. And why did it arrive so suddenly, as if absolutely out of nowhere? One day we were just struggling with Microsoft Word to get it to format a text box, and the next day AI can write an article, format it properly, and then email it to 100 publishers before you've even finished your cup of tea. They told us technology would remove all the boring bits of work and that machines would do all the labour, and we would sit around enjoying all of this newfound freedom. That's not where we are, is it? Everyone I know is working harder and harder, and somehow has less to show for it than ever. And I think that's kind of what sits in the back of my mind all the time at the moment, this strange feeling that modern life is getting faster and faster, but we're not really getting anywhere. Don't get me wrong, I mean, I do love technology. I use AI almost every day. Sometimes it feels incredible, like you've got Albert Einstein sitting in your pocket, just waiting for instructions. But another part of me wonders what happens when civilization becomes too dependent on convenience. And you know what? The Romans worried about this all the time. Okay, so they didn't predict AI, maybe not, but in 62 AD, Seneca wrote that hardship preserves character, while comfort slowly dissolves it, quietly, gradually, over time. When people become lazy, the very qualities that make them who they are disappear. And when I look at AI, sometimes I think the real danger isn't the machines are becoming more intelligent, it's that humans are becoming passive, and that we slowly hand over our creativity, our writing, our memory, our judgment, just because machines can do it faster. But maybe difficulty is the point. What if struggling through things is part of what makes us human? Nothing can replace that feeling of writing an essay yourself, or writing a song the way the melody finally clicks into place when you're writing a song, or looking at a sketch you've done and remembering every tiny stroke of the pen. Those things matter because you suffered for them, even just a little bit. And maybe that's what modern civilization has sort of forgotten and no longer believes in. Everything now seems to be designed to remove friction, to remove waiting. Even thought itself is disappearing. But where would human beings be without resistance? So I don't think the Romans would have feared AI. I think they would have probably bloody loved it. Only they would have found nefarious and evil ways, bloody and violent ways to use it as well. If we go around thinking that the world is just smiling away using ChatGPT to write emails, and there's no emperors sitting in palaces using AI to tighten their grip on power, then we're sleepwalking into history, aren't we? Because every civilization believes its technology will civilize mankind. The Romans believed their roads, their engineering, their systems, their whole organization were proof of progress. And in many ways they were, but those same roads, remember, carried their legions. Those same systems enabled their conquest of other nations. And the machine of empire always learns to weaponize the tools of its age, and today is absolutely no different from that. We'd be fools to think that AI is all small smiles and convenience. There's still ambitious men, ruthless governments, corporations, propagandists, everyone turning this innocent machine into a war machine. And it's frightening to think about AI, that it's not what we think it is. And history teaches us something, of course. It teaches us something quite uncomfortable, which is that every empire eventually uses its greatest inventions not merely to build civilization, but to preserve control and to destroy anything that threatens it. No, the Romans wouldn't have feared AI. They would have deployed it.